Hi everyone, this is Lee, and I have my guest co-host with me today, Rumbi, and you're from, I believe, over UK. Is that right?
Yes, I am. Hi, Lee. Hi, guests.
Yeah, and originally you're from Zimbabwe. Is that correct as
Yes,
well? And you moved over to the
yeah,
UK as well.
yes, I am. I am.
Yeah. So everyone, we've got an exciting session today. Again, it's just having real conversations with, my connections and people that I'm bringing on board who are experts in different fields. And I thought today was an amazing topic we could talk about, and that is an entrepreneur. That's around about self-care and health. And I believe that it's so important to have that within business because I don't know about you guys, maybe you as well as Rumby, sometimes we forget about looking after ourselves and we're so consumed with our business that sometimes we get that stress and get that burnout and worry because being an entrepreneur is not always a smooth ride. Sometimes it can be a roller coaster ride as well. And I'm guilty. I put my hand up right now. I'm really guilty at working long hours and working like really, early hours in the morning because I get so creative at
Yeah,
nighttime. It's almost like the
yeah.
opposite of normal. It's so creative. How about you as well? What's going on for you about your entrepreneurial journey and how you feel this as well?
For me, it's really hectic because I'm living with two boys. So my
Mm,
oldest, he's autistic. He's on the spectrum. So that's so much work. So it's sort of like doing that bit and then doing the business, and
mm,
then most of the time the self care. There's just no time. So I understand the importance of that, of really taking time out
mm,
for yourself.
mm. And I know we've been chatting with prior before we jumped on, and also in other conversations we've had as well. And I think you started to get involved with your natural herbs and and that sort of stuff because of your son. Is that right? Is that how you started the journey, looking for things that would help your son and everything else as well? Is that right? Because we would love to hear your story of how you got involved with your natural herbs as well.
Okay, so it was quite interesting and sudden because I was on a different trajectory, career wise. But then my son, we thought he was a slow starter.
Mm,
So it's like all the milestones were late, and he didn't really things like walking, crawling, that all was kind of muddled, and his speech wasn't so good. But the most what stood out the most was how he reacted after meals, and how he reacted to sort of everything in terms of cleaning products. There's certain things that triggered his distress. And so when they give you the diagnosis, they just say, well, okay, he's on the spectrum, here's a bunch of books to read, off you go, to
mm.
your best.
And that
So
and you would have been a young mum too at that time, wouldn't you, Romney, as well? So it would have been quite scary for you as well.
it was so frightening, it was really scary. And you get this feeling of not being a good mom.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
just I remember sitting on the stairs with my son after a meal. So it was Saturday, and we had a takeout, and of course that's full of everything else in there. That's things you shouldn't be eating, and we just didn't know at the time. And he was bent over in agony, and I just from then on determined, to find out what it was that I had to do. And
Mm,
I slowly delved into all this, and I realized it was everything I was doing, in terms of what I was exposing him to. And that's
mm,
actually how I started, because he also had he had allergies. So, he'd flare up. And so that all came together, when I just got that connection with the herbs, with the natural, and being organic around him.
Sure. And it's almost like the hero's journey, where you're called to the quest, and then, obviously you're trying to overcome a challenge or something's going on in your life, and a wise mentor always turns up for you, or we call it a wise guide always turns up for you. And some people say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So at that time, was there influences in your life that showed that for you?
I would say there was okay, so the lady that I sort of studied under initially, Star Kachara, well, she's here. I just sort of threw myself into her teachings, so I trained with her, and she was sort of, it was new to me, but then she was there for me, I would say, yeah.
And tell us about, with the herbs and everything. Obviously, you use the herbs for internal and external. So, external for cleaning around the house and what's going on, and internal as far as you and your family digest it for health as well. So, can you tell me a little bit more about that as well, how it works for you?
Okay, so it's sort of question of replacing, using the herbs as food. So my favorite is lavender. My favorite is lavender. So, but that's my favorite because it calms my son down, and a simple thing like just boiling, lavender flowers. Really, the smell itself is therapeutic. It's calming. So those are the kind of things that I found that I needed, like you're saying with the food. So they are, calming herbs. Okay, one of my favorites now is ashwagandha, because that's kind of like really good. It calms him down. That's a root for sleeping. So I've had to, incorporate, herbs in everything. So whatever I am doing is there a herb for it, and I have to find the herb that will fit in there, and it just becomes a way of life, and then you sort of like have to daily take what you need to take, so that's your diet, in a manner of speaking. Yeah.
And you have different herbs for different reasons. Like if someone wants, say an entrepreneur is, they're really feeling a bit stressed or overwhelmed, what type of natural herbs would you recommend for them, kind of thing? For them to regain focus and to relax and to enjoy their work and settle and calm themselves. Because we know there's times as an entrepreneur where things don't work out exactly the way that we want it.
Yeah. Definitely. I would go back to, I would go back to lavender because that's such a calming herb. So I would say, have a bath, have a herbal bath, I call it. So you can literally, have your petals. You can literally use roses, lavender, I call it a pamper bath, a chamomile. So if you can get the dried herbs and just sort of like have a nice natural, bath. Other things you can do, if you buy products that have, natural and organic products that have essential oils. So rather than buying, it mustn't be a perfume. Normally that means that it's just something else. You actually need the herbs. So I would go for lavender, chamomile, rose, and you could also use in your creams. So, for sort of rubbing, for muscular pain, things like calendula. That is a very good one as well, if you can find that in your products. So I would just say use the herbs, look for products, actually natural and organic. That's what I always say. And you find that in itself, there's so many, properties, calming and healing properties, in herbs because, they've been used for thousands of years, before conventional medicines, but then also the fact that even what we use today is based on, they're always extracts, they're botanical extracts in what we use today. So I would say those are, that is the best way to incorporate, to get the best out of, without having to go all out, so to speak.
Yeah, I know many times when I'm feeling a bit stressed, I actually have a diffuser and I put it on my desk and I diffuse some oils, some essential oils and natural oils and things like that. And if I'm really want to gain focus, I use lemon. So is lemon good to gain focus?
Yes, lemon is like a wonder fruit. Lemon has got so many, it's good from the health point of view, but then it's also for your mood. So it calms, it calms down. Oh, I'm actually smelling smelling lemon right now. So it's really calming. It is a good one, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than jumping on a bath and having a glass of champagne or something, having your pebbles in there, and having nice music happening. I mean, how often?
Yeah.
Gosh, I think we all can do that, but sometimes we have good intentions, but we never seem to do it. It reminds me of that movie, Pretty Lady. What's that? Sorry, Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. Yeah. Exactly. And you just need to take the time, you block out the time and, make it as comfortable as possible and, and enjoy it, because you do deserve it,
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Rumbi, when you said block out the time. It's really important with self-care to actually block out the time for you. Now, you're important because the more healthy you are and the more energized you are, the more you give to your amazing avatars and your amazing audience. And if you're a team leader in the workplace, you have to also have the energy as well. So it's about blocking out your time. When you're doing your cooking and things like that, with your oils, do you follow a recipe or do you just chuck all the oils in and that sort of thing as well? I don't know what's that.
No, for myself, I do. For things I use for myself, I just chuck in what I want because I'm the guinea pig. I experiment, on myself. But I'm an organic formulator. So I actually formulate because these natural ingredients are so strong, so you really need to use them within specified with specified quantities because you also need to be careful, when you're using essential oils and herbs because what we have in tablet form or in a cream is so diluted compared to the to the real full strength product. So I need formulas. I actually formulate the products I need and they are certified by a chemist and here in the UK EU legislates, so there are certain quantities of products that ingredients we can put in products and there are certain ingredients we can't use.
Oh, wow.
Because they don't fit bacteria. So it's very important,
Yeah. So obviously I wouldn't go down through or just chucking things in. I would probably kill someone or myself. Or whatever. So keep me away from the kitchen. I've got as far as diffusers. That's about it. And also, as you're saying, I carry my stress sometimes on my shoulders. So I actually rub in the oils into my shoulders and, where I carry the stress as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on lavender, what are your other favourite oils that you like using yourself? What are your what's your top 4 or 5 that you really love using on a regular basis?
Okay, so my best, one of my favorite, I'd say, is jojoba.
Ooh,
So jojoba, it's beautiful because you can use it for your skin. It's sort of like a semi wax. They put it in the wax category. I don't want to get to, which just means that it's quite thick. Um, so I like jojoba because that you can use it on your skin, you can use it on your hair, you can use it as a cleanser, and just wipe off. So it will clean. I like evening primrose. So evening primrose oil is good, especially for for more mature skin. It's got lots of anti-wrinkle properties. So that is, and it's also got you know okay, so it's got healing properties. So we won't really talk about that because that's something different altogether. But then just for the skin, it's got those properties. Then I would say calendula. So calendula oil, it's infused marigold. So what they do is they take an organic carrier oil, so any oil like sunflower oil, and then they infuse the calendula flowers in there, and then it is so it is as beautiful. Is how I would describe it, because it's so good for your skin. It's good for scars. It's good for acne. So that's my third one. And I like rosehip oil. Rosehip is also a very good oil. If for large pores, it actually reduces the appearance of pores. So it's something, again, for older skin or skin with larger pores, because our skin the pores tend to open more as we grow older, as it gets mature. And then I also love an olive oil. Olive oil is so versatile. It's something you can use all over the body. Moisturization, you can use it for massaging, in your mixers, with essential oils. So yeah, I'd say those are my top 5.
Yeah. And who do you mainly supply your oils to? Are they specific industries or specific entrepreneurs that you actually provide the oils for them?
Okay, so I've actually got a brand. So I actually make products. I've actually got an award-winning brand here in the UK, and I make products. So the range is from head to toe, really. But then I've got my clients. I've got individual clients that I supply to. And then I also work with salons. So I get people coming and wanting me to make bespoke products for them. So those are the main 2 customers that I deal with.
Sure. And with your son, so your son, just fill us in again. What is happening with your son, and what oils do you use on him for your son to help him to gain focus and everything else as well?
Okay, so for my son, everything I do for him is organic. It's got to be natural and or organic. So I use I make the oils for him. I make the creams for him. So I make my own shampoo for him. I've got a gel wash. Most of the ingredients I use are the one lavender is one that really calms him down. So I'm using a lot of lavender essential oils with him. And then I use chamomile. That also calms him down a lot. And then I use I use a lot of aloe vera. So I use aloe vera gel as a base. So it's really good for the shampoos. It's good for the to put in the wash, and then also because of his skin, it for things like acne, just cleansing, getting rid of the base because he's got quite an oily skin. So apart from that, all the other ingredients I use for when I am dealing with him are just natural and organic. So these oils that I've mentioned, the calendula oils, the jojoba oils, I use all those in the creams that I use for him. So he's okay. So this is a classic one because my son is biracial.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of putting oils and creams may be a bit different for you than it would be for my skin type, because based on where you are in the world, your skin can actually dry out. So depending on where you are, your skin could be drier, or sometimes you're just not used to it, and you just don't want, you're just not used to it, and you're happy with what's going on with you. So with him, it's like I'm there with all of my lotions and potions. Oh, he must have a bath, and you must, after his bath, he has to use this, use that. And then dad comes along, and it's like, oh no, that's so sticky. No, that's fine. Just dress him and wash him and dress him. And then now when he's old, now that he's older, he knows what he wants, so the day he wants something on his skin, he will say, cream me, mommy. And if he doesn't want anything, off he goes. So that's kind of like, him telling us what he wants.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's into essential oils as well, sort of thing. And she's got a young boy who's got ADHD, and he's very hyper and everything else as well. And she's at the stage now that she actually gets him to choose his oil that he wants. So
she uses.
She actually gets him to choose his own oil. Like she'll offer him the oils, and he will choose. He's so in tune now with the oils. He will choose the right one for him right now to relax him or whatever he's feeling, anxiety or whatever. He's at the stage he can do that. I mean, it's amazing how that's changed. But he's the same maybe as your son. There's some days he just doesn't want anything to do with it as well. So, but that was amazing.
Yeah.
To be that in tune with your body, to know exactly what to actually choose. And I think you would have that talent as well, being the person who can actually use your intuition as well as to what oil you should choose.
Yes, definitely. And I think with our children, sometimes we think they're not old enough, but then, like you're saying, it's that amazing ability they have to tell us what they want and what they actually need.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, I think too, and also it's like everything, when the child is growing up, they get more self-awareness as well of what they need as well. And you have to, I suppose, empower them in some ways so that they can make those big choices for themselves as they start to mature and go and become adults and everything else as well, So that's really amazing. So have you ever visited a favourite place where you actually see all the natural herbs growing and things like that? You know what I mean? Have you ever been in those fields where you see all the, all your herbs and all your, the flowers you use and everything else as well?
Okay, no, not all of them.
But some.
Here we've got lots of lavender.
Yeah.
in the UK. So, so there are, lavender farms, where you can go and pick the lavender and actually, just immerse yourself, so I've been to, there's one very close near me, and I go there quite often to get my stuff as well. Um, but in terms of all the other ingredients, I I sort of grew up with so I grew up in Zimbabwe, and my mom had lots of flowers. We had lots of flowers in the garden, and we I remember the roses. I see the geraniums, and at the time I didn't know I didn't know what they were used them for. But sort of going back, when I look back, because then I can see, I can see the rockery, and I can see the aloe vera, I can see. So that was, then, and I think as a little girl, I always liked, I was always into these herbs, and I remember playing with my friends, and I would always be making water, taking rose petals, putting them in water, squashing them, and making my perfumes. So I've always, loved that. And we have, I know there's a particular herb that's really slimy, and we use that as that can be used as a shampoo. And I always remember, going to my granny's place and looking for these herbs, walking. I'd be walking, foraging, and everyone would be looking for me. Where's Rumbi? Where's Rumbi? And they'd come back with my basket, full of all of these flowers. So a lot, it was there, but I just haven't. I would love to have this huge museum where all of these plants are, and everyone else can just come and see them and how they work.
So with our audience watching out there, if they wanted to start transitioning from, using what we normally do into a natural, environment with the different herbs and everything else as well, and flowers, what steps would you say would they start to take to make that progress easy for them to actually do a bit of a transition?
Okay, so the first thing to do would be to check your labels. So you need to be able to read your labels and be able to see what is in your product. So that would be the first point. So there is there's something called the Dirty Dozen. So that's the environmental working group. They've come up with a list. It's quite comprehensive, and it is a list of toxins that are hiding in our skincare. So just the importance of this, to give you an example, is that, getting ready in the morning, you could use up to 8 products, wash your hair, shampoo, conditioner, makeup, everything. You could use up to 8 products. And in those 8 products, you could have up to 126 ingredients. So those could be toxins, those could be, things that could affect you adversely. So it's really, really important to learn to read your labels. So less is more. If you can read the word, less is more.
And that's a point too. I don't know about you, but as we mature, the labels are hard to read. The labels are. I find that the print is so small, especially when there's a lot of products, as you're saying, in the skin cares and things like that. It can be quite hard to read. Surely there must be some sort of product labeling or something that you can look up a product and actually see what's involved with it on the internet. Is there such a thing that, in case you can't read your labels, that they you can go somewhere else to find out that information.
Okay, so what you should be able to do is when you buy a product, the manufacturer should be able to tell you. So if you're shopping online and they have to tell you what's in the ingredients, the product. So that is your right to know what is in there. So if you say you're online shopping and you see a product and you want to know the ingredients, they have to tell you what is in there. So either somewhere to their site where you actually see what is in there, or they have to send you a list of the ingredients. But then now with actually knowing what those things mean, you then need to go to websites like the one I was saying, the Environmental Working Group. There are quite a few of them really, where you can actually tell what these ingredients are. But the thing is, you really should be able to do a quick Google search to tell you what it is, but you should not be in a position where you are, reading all these, where you've got 10, 20 ingredients, 5, the fewer the better, 5 ingredients. That is all you need, usually. So as you read the label, a proper label will have the international name on it, the chemical name, and it will have an English translation. So it's when you don't get that English translation, and when that's when you need to be suspect of. It should be a very simple exercise. The more stressful it is, then it's probably that should be red flags.
Yeah, because if there's a lot of ingredients, that means there's a lot of fillers. Is that right? Is that what they use? A lot of fillers and things like that. If there's a lot of ingredients, so the smaller amount of ingredients is, the more natural the product is. Is that correct?
Yes.
You can look very quickly at something and have an idea as well.
Yeah.
And doing that transition when they're moving from, doing, really starting to be mindful of what they're putting on their skin and what they're using in their house. Is that a small progression you find, or they just throw everything out and do the progression straight away?
No, it's easier to progress slowly.
Yeah.
So with your cosmetics and toiletries, I would say just replace one. Just replace one at a time. And to be honest with you, you may not find everything you want in natural and organic, under a natural and organic label. And, because then you need to be practical. And in those cases, well, it's if we're talking of toxins, we are exposed to them all day, every day, so it's less, if you can detox, that's why we need to detox, because you can't really get away, from all the adverse effects of the environment. But so with your skincare and everything you're using, just do it one at a time. I've got a gauge, which I call, where you start slowly moving, changing over, and that's the easiest way to do it.
Sure. And and we'll just start to wrap up now. But you have an ebook or something out that can help women to look at the things they should be using. You have information there also about websites they can go to look up labels and all of that stuff as well.
Yes. I've got I call it a dirty dozen list. So it's the same. It's those 12 main chemicals, toxins, and where they are used. And then I've also put alternatives that you can look at, where you see that ingredient you want to replace. So, and I also list where you find them. So if it's your shampoo, your creams, your makeup. So I've got that list that I've compiled that will actually, help people, make a comparison and choose and know the ingredients and what they are.
Sure. So what we'll do, everyone who's watching, we'll put a link up there for anyone to click on that link, so you can reach out to Rumbi and have a look at that dozen list to help you to make those choices if this is something you're interested in doing. So thank you so much for being on board with us as well today. Everyone really appreciates what you said. The information is amazing. And as I was saying earlier, it's so important to look at self-care and start looking at, what's important for you now in that stage as a busy entrepreneur or a busy mum or whatever. But put yourself first and start taking care of yourself as well. And you'll be amazed how much better you will feel as well, and much more productive as well. Thank you so much for joining us today, Rumbi, and everyone else as well. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you again next week. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.